Hey everybody, big welcome back. I'm really happy to announce this is my first flight with my new DJI Mavic, and what an awesome little machine it is. I have very few complaints, and a lot of good reviews for it. So let's start off with this maiden voyage. I'll let you know that this was filmed in 4K, the second setting on, not quite the top, the second lower setting or whatever for 4K. Whatever that was, I don't recall. But anyway, I didn't make any adjustments to the drone or to the camera settings or anything. This is just shot how I got it out of the box. Um, I got to say, I'm overall impressed, with the exception of it's still a little bit flickery, which is the same with all drones, though it seems. I'm not really sure why, but that's just it is what it is, right? You can only expect so much out of these machines. So let's start by saying that first thing I did was I fly out here, and I'll end up having to stop at the end because I was geo-locked or whatever. So I had to go into the menu and figure out how to shut that off. And so out here I'm going to pause, but while I'm doing that, I noticed something that I had saw in a bunch of other people's videos. So watch when I flip around here, is that the drone actually goes up and down a bit while it's hovering. You're going to see some sped up footage here when I spin around, and you'll be able to see what I mean. It would kind of make me nervous if I was flying over a tree or something like that. So just something to keep in mind. And hopefully it's never an issue, but I've seen in other people's videos them talking about it, and maybe one day DJI will fix it or figure it out or something like that. It's not a deal killer or anything like that, but just worth mentioning. Another thing I'll mention is that it this here is just a little bit sped up just to speed things up, but the actual flight didn't seem too fast. I didn't look at the speed on my thing, but then when I went to try to look on the phone at my flight logs, for whatever reason, this flight did not save to my phone. And I had also done screen recorder, which corrupted because I ran out of space on the phone. So unfortunately, that's probably what happened, why the phone didn't save the flight logs either, because the phone was full at the end of the flight. So very unfortunate. I was hoping to see what my top speed was, but it actually seemed quite slow, surprisingly. And I couldn't change into sport mode because I would have had to go into the settings. I didn't bother anyway. I just said forget it. These little bastards act like they were throwing stuff at the drone. And because now I'm limited to using a phone, that's one of my complaints, I guess, about the Mavic, is having to use my phone instead of my full-size iPad. So when you're looking on the phone, it looked like they were actually throwing stuff, but once I got home and looked at the footage, I realized that they weren't. They were just screwing around, whatever. But doesn't matter. I just kind of wanted to troll them a little bit, but I didn't want to get low enough because obviously I didn't want them throwing anything at it. Little bastards. Anyway, we're going to continue along here. I thought about going to say hi to those construction guys, but didn't bother. So, other first impressions were signal. I'll tell you right now, the signal on this was great for this flight. Obviously, I've only got the one flight on it, but later on we're going to be heading downtown Oakville on the flight. I will say I'm sitting in my truck. Where this flight started is in the bottom of like kind of a valley with the river running through it, and I'm sitting in my truck for the entire flight. At no point do I get out, other than when I go to catch it in my hand, which is another thing. While we're getting to the downtown, I'll talk about that. The Mavic does not like being hand caught like the Phantom. I always caught my Phantom in the hand, and this actually fights you. Once you have it in hand and you're holding down on the stick, it tries to take off just because of where the sensors are. You used to have the landing gear to grab it by. So that's actually one thing I don't really like. I wish that it had some way, I don't know how, but some way of detecting that you were actually trying to catch it in the hand. Because the last thing I want to do is land this thing in the snow. So that would be a little complaint for the drone. Very minor thing, but it's just worth noting that this sits basically right on the ground. The camera is maybe what, a quarter of an inch off the ground or something. I don't know. But responsiveness, I will say that this is a very responsive drone. With that said, I will mention though that I had dumbed down my Phantom. Like, you know, I changed the gain and expo and all that or whatever to slow it down, because I prefer to have nice smooth slow turns. And on this, there actually is a setting now. I don't remember what it was called. I haven't flown with it yet, but last night I was just playing in the menus, and I did actually find that they have like a slower speed setting for everything. So I've gone ahead and set that. But yeah, I found that it turns very, very sharp, and the gimbal up and down is very, very quick. So now I've made those adjustments. It's probably just me because I was used to the way my other one went. But anyhow, you will notice on this, when I spin around here, keeping in mind I'm at the bottom of a valley along that river, sitting in my truck. Unfortunately, I can't tell you the exact distance of this because I don't have any flight logs or data on it, but you will see when I end up panning up that I'm actually behind a big apartment building. So there's no line of sight here. There's you would expect that the drone would have lost signal. Once I aim this way, you will see the big brown building. And let's go ahead and look for it. And right there, you see that big brown building? That is between me and my drone. And I've got to say, that's very impressive. You'll see as I come in closer. I should have sped this clip up. I did cut some stuff out to try to speed the video up, because it actually was like maybe a 22-25 minute flight. So you'll see basically how that building is set, and you'll see where my truck was to show that there was absolutely no line of sight. And yeah, that's actually amazing. I gotta say that that's quite surprising. A lot of people might say it was a little bit ballsy to go fly out over the lake on the maiden voyage. I had originally planned on, you know, kind of maybe taking it easy, but then I just said, screw it, whatever. If you can't have faith in the drone, you shouldn't be flying it, I guess, right? So yeah, there's my truck right there. And yeah, overall, it's amazing. It's small. It's just really cool. I got to get a bit more time on it. You know what I mean? Now that I've changed the settings, we're gonna see a little bit of tripod mode, which is actually the feature that I'm probably most interested in. Was tripod mode for nice smooth footage. So that's what this is. It limits it down to 2 miles per hour or something like this. So this is actually holding the stick full speed forward, and it makes it so that you can get nice smooth footage in 4K. Obviously, I'm just uploading this in 1080. It's not that, you know, scenic of a flight. It wasn't like I was trying to get any real smooth footage here or anything like that. So, but it's still I like the tripod mode idea. That's really nice for stuff like, imagine flying over Niagara Falls, and then when you speed it up, you can really get some cool effects. So, which will be in the plans to go back and fly out over that. If you haven't seen it, I do have a flight on my channel over Niagara Falls. So, but that is pretty much going to wrap it up, guys. I'm going to tell you that I really, so far, am enjoying it. I've just got to get a bit more time on it so I can get a little more used to it. And yeah, be sure to subscribe so you can see more. And if you don't mind, click that like button, and we will see you guys next time. Once again, sorry for my voice, but I wanted to get the video up. So see you next time.